Hello, my blessed and blended family. I'm
Hello.
Brittany. This is,
Stephen, how you doing?
and we just wanted to share with you our story. We're excited about it. We're excited from where God has brought us from up until now. So we just wanted to share a little bit with you all. We're gonna start off with where and when. Well, when and where did we meet? You want to answer that?
We met on MySpace
Anybody
in
remember MySpace? It's so old.
2009.
Yeah. And our first date was where?
We went to the movies to see The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock. Really good movie.
So, who initiated the conversation on MySpace?
I think I did.
Yeah.
I think I did.
He sent me the first little message because I was cute. When did we get married?
I don't remember.
Yeah, right.
Was that 2010?
Yeah.
July
2010. The day after my birthday. My birthday's July 9th. We got married July 10th, 2010. We're going to talk about some of our transitions, post-marriage transitions. We had a good wedding and we had a good honeymoon. And then when we came back from our honeymoon, it was like everything just, parenting and becoming this big blended family because we have 4 children total. Stephen has 3 from a previous marriage and I have 1 from a previous relationship. So it was 4 children, 2 adults that have never lived under the same roof ever, never, ever, never. So it was
new.
Yeah, and it was definitely new for me because I've never been married. So, and I've never had more than 1 kid. So, yeah, the noise was one of my biggest adjustments. And I think more so the kids they kind of got the idea, I would think, but their mother had like a really hard time with it. I was not her favorite person for whatever reason. I still don't know to this day, but nonetheless, it was
different.
Israel was used to
different.
being like the only child, and then his children was only just used to it being just the 3 of them and their mother and just their dad. Now this new woman has just appeared. How do you think they took it?
They were all right. You know, they enjoyed the time, and it was something new. It was something different, and I think they were okay with it. In the beginning.
I think most of the hiccups that we have had was not so much the children per se. It was their mother wasn't happy with it. So, that sometimes as parents we tend to give our kids the impression that, hey, I'm not cool with this. So, sometimes the kids feel obligated to the biological parent to, kind of have an issue with that step parent. But, by God's grace, we have got past that. It's 2015. So,
Oh, yes.
I've been their stepmother for years now. We did get divorced. We got married in 2010. We got divorced
2013.
2013.
No, January 2000.
Yeah, we got divorced January 2013. And then remarried April
2014.
Yeah. So
a little over a year later.
It was interesting.
We went through some rough times dealing with, blended family and relationship issues and just a whole lot of stuff that nobody else would really understand unless they were in this particular situation. It was hard. It was a lot of work, and it still is a lot of work. It just takes a lot of patience and perseverance. A lot of perseverance.
A lot.
Praying That helps a lot.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of that too. Put that in there. A lot of
Praying,
prayer.
church.
Meeting with people that just to get a different perspective on how you're feeling or what you're going through, because you're not the only one. You're not the only one in a blended family with crazy X syndrome. you know, you're not the only one out there. It's different. It's different.
Yeah, it was. It has been a learning lesson for me because I went in a little naive, I guess I can say, because I was just like, oh, now his ex-wife had a significant other, and I was like, oh, we can go on vacations together and we can do all this stuff together,
That never
and
happened.
not really knowing like she might not like me. So yeah. So it never worked out that way. And it's good because now we're more to the place where we're mindful of the outside influences, because yeah, my children have a mother and my son has a biological father, but everybody's up under our roof, so we have to make sure that yeah, your opinion to a certain extent matters, but we have the final say, we have the final judgment, because we're with them 24/7. Their mother does not live even in the state of Florida. My son's father does not live in the state of Florida. So pretty much we're it for them.
Yeah. And I'm glad I never had any baby daddy drama either. So I wouldn't know what that looks like. For those of you who do, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're going through.
Yeah.
But
We
do
don't have that.
All we have is baby mama drama.
Yeah, I don't have any. My son's father, we don't talk. We don't communicate. It's sad, but one person with enough drama is good enough to handle. So it definitely worked out, because I remember being pregnant and my dad's advice to me was, because I was so gun-ho and so like, okay, I want this man to be here for my child. And his advice to me was, if Israel needed him in his life in order to succeed, it would have been orchestrated that way, and it was not. And looking back on it now, yeah, it was tough and it was rough to deal with being a single parent, but this is the only dad he knows, and this is the best dad for him in the long run.
Regardless of a situation, there's always someone to step up.
Yeah.
I've been there for going on 6 years now, and I love him like I love my other two boys. So it's not like, oh, I just have 3 kids. I have 4. It's hard for me to even try to explain to people, well, I have 3 kids and then 1 stepchild.
Right.
I don't even use the term.
Right.
That's my job.
Yeah. And that's another thing. We don't use the term, oh, step parent or stepmom, stepdad. That's dad, I'm mom. Their mother is mommy, or they refer to her as mom. As they get older, teenagers don't want to say mommy. So we don't. I've always been taught in my family, we don't do the step this and step that. So when we got into this relationship, it's never been, oh, step anything, unless people outside, if they really inquire, because I am 8 years younger than he is. So one situation, when I took them to the dentist's office a couple of weeks ago, the lady was like, oh, we were talking about high school and all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I graduated in 2004. And she was like, and you have a 15-year-old? I'm like, technically, he's my stepson, but yes, he's still mine nonetheless. I didn't physically give birth to him. So, we only address it if people inquire. And it's good, because I'll go to their school and they're like, oh, is that your mama? Yes, honey, I'm only 29. I had somebody at Stephanie's school. Stephanie is our 10-year-old, only girl. And her little friend was like, oh, is that your mom? She was like, yeah. She's like, oh, I thought that was your sister. I was like, yes, see?
Man, we heard about that for weeks, y'all.
Yes, we did.
Weeks.
I was excited. I was like, oh. So, those
Yeah.
things do come in handy. And one of the things I can say for me that I've learned being in a blended family is forgiveness. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned, because sometimes it's easier to forgive, quote unquote, your own biological children versus other people. But being in this true forgiveness, because there has been situations that came up where, I thought I had forgave, and when I checked my heart later, that was not the
Yeah.
case. So it really taught me true forgiveness, grace and mercy, and a lot of understanding. A lot of understanding.
And in any relationship, it takes work. And as in the last over the last 6 years, the same thing that I did back then, it doesn't work, today. It's just like anything else, you have to do something different. It's always something new. People are growing, people are maturing, so you always have to have that. What am I gonna do next? What can I do better this year? So it's always a process. The parent I was 5, 10, 15 years ago, isn't the same person.
Yeah.
I'm no longer that person.
Yeah. Okay. One of the things I would say that I would advise people that are in a blended family or just starting out within a blended family, one of the biggest things that I would say would be, um, make sure you and your spouse, make sure you all, before you present something to the children, make sure you're on the same page, because always keeping that united front. Because when you go before them and they see division, or they see, okay, this parent might not be with it, so let me go and I can play both sides of the fence. You always want to make sure you have that united front with your spouse. We discuss little stuff, big stuff, in between stuff. We
Yeah.
discuss everything before we present it to them.
And it all helps with communication. The kids know their expectations, and it helps foster a more conducive relationship.
Yeah.
So, in our opinion, it's better. It's a lot better to have a united front. Men, your wife, that's number one. Regardless of it's your children's, or your kids, or that's not their mom or whatever, or you're gonna love them more. No, that's wrong. Your wife comes first, and then your kids. That's what it says in the Bible, and if you do that, then you put her in a place in her heart, and you make her feel special, and it helps in the relationship by following what God's word says and putting your wife first and then your kids. Because when you're like, we talk about what will we be doing when they all leave the house, because eventually they all gonna leave the house.
Yes. I can't wait. I'm excited.
So it's gonna be just us. What are we gonna do if we can't communicate in the relationship with the kids here?
Yeah.
We definitely are not gonna communicate after the kids leave, and it'll just be the two of us sitting down, one person reading the newspaper in the corner, one person doing whatever on the computer. So that's good communication.
And yeah, we have a blended family, and yeah, we have a lot going on, because either we got one in band, two in band, one in chorus, one in football, one in basketball.
Yeah, it's one in band and chorus. So
Yeah.
it's not 5 kids, y'all. Not 5,
Yeah.
just 4. One
So-
in band and chorus, one in band, one in football, one in basketball.
Yes.
And 2 high schoolers, and both of them go to 2 different high schools
Yes.
that are probably about 15 miles apart.
Yes.
So
we have a lot of running around. So with our week being busy, and pretty much our week is consumed with, running back and forth, taking care of the kids and all this other stuff, always remember, date nights, whether you go out, whether you go sit at the park and just talk, whether you go out to eat, movie, wherever.
You need alone time.
You always
need
need that alone time, because it will help you in the long run. I know for me, when we have our date night, sometimes, because he does work late during the week, so we don't really have that me time, or that us time. So when we do have our date nights, whether it's once a month or once every other week or whatever the case may be, that's my time to say, hey, this is how I'm feeling, this is what's going on with me, and vice versa. So we do have that outlet with each other. So, keeping your date nights, great communication, keeping that united front before the kids. And with us, we have what we call an open door policy. If the kids are feeling some type of way or they have something they want to express to us, they always know, hey, I can come talk to mom and dad and get it off my chest. Hey, you upset me the other day.
And
hey,
it's consequence free, depending
yes.
on the offense.
Yes.
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 We're not condoning, I'm not saying you can't spank your child or whatever. That's up to you. And under the letter of the law, you can spank your child.
Yes.
So it's entirely up to you. We just have a policy where you come and tell us before we find out about it. That way we can talk about it, we can discuss it,
right.
and just deal with it.
Yeah, because regardless of whether it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or we got to talk about sex, or how should you handle this situation, like our oldest came to us and he felt a little intimidated in this situation with this other kid at school. So it's good to have that open dialogue where they can come talk to you, and keeping that open dialogue, because I understand, like, where he grew up, he's from Jamaica, so where he grew up, he didn't, the relationship he had with his parents, there was no open dialogue. With my parents, there was open
do what I say, not what I do. I'm telling you.
There was open dialogue to a certain extent with my parents, but I didn't really start talking about certain stuff with my mom until I got older. And now, our relationship is much better now that we have this openness, because my parents are a little older, his parents are a little older, so it's like, they didn't grow up where you just openly talk about sex, or you openly talk about boyfriends or girlfriends, or this guy approached me about sex and what should I do. They didn't have that. So just always be that listening ear for your children, and don't condemn them when they come to you, because if they had enough courage to come to you and talk to you about it,
don't shoot them down.
Yeah, have enough grace and mercy and understanding that we were there at some point in time, and we may have not had that opportunity with our parents.
They'll enjoy having a conversation, or they won't have a problem coming to you with those hard topics.
Yeah.
Because they feel like, okay, they're gonna get a straight answer. They're gonna get, probably some sound advice, some wisdom from you. And if you shoot that all full of holes with what you say to your child, then it might never happen again. You might end up closing that door. So just remember, always go in there with a little grace, a little mercy, because they did take that step forward and come to you with it before you actually, had to go and find out or had to deal with the situation.
Yeah. So, we just wanted to share our story with you. I hope it was encouraging. If you have any questions, leave your questions down below. Make sure you thumbs up this video, subscribe to our channel, because we have daily vlogs that we do that you can see the ins and outs of our families. We're not going to get on there and have disagreements. Yes, we have disagreements. Yes, we have fallen out.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I beat him up on a daily basis. I'm just joking. But nonetheless, just follow us. And I hope this was truly encouraging for you all. I hope that us opening up and being transparent would continually help people that may be going through the same things, or thinking about entering into a blended family setting. So,
and one last thing, women, if you have a child, don't keep your child away from their father. Don't spite your ex or whatever, just because they might not have done, or they might have done something to you. Don't spite your child because of what that adult has done. Forgive them, move past it, so your children can have a really good relationship with either parent, and they can learn and grow and be successful members of society.
That's true. That is true. So we love you guys. God bless, and we'll see you on the next video. Love you.